Look what I found. This truck is in service and I've been waiting to see a 2025. Obviously pretty much the exact same truck as 2024, but I just wanted to see the front end of this truck with this Carli build on 37s. Ram does it right from the factory. They really do. This is absolutely cold-blooded, and the granite crystal finishes the whole build on this truck here. Now normally when I see these, they're in a mega cab form, and I think if I were to build one of these trucks, I know you guys would hate me, but I would definitely go mega cab. This looks good too though. I'm glad I had a chance to see this. Now there's other trucks I'm going to show you really quickly around here with some unique builds. That's a mega cab right there, by the way. But this one, this is probably installed about 16 to 20 grand worth of suspension, tires, setup. I'm kind of like going off of what I've been told from friends who've had similar builds like this. But this is a limited, and it has a night edition package. And of course, when you get that night edition package on the limited, you get that Sport Performance hood. And that Sport Performance hood finishes off the truck. And again, this is a Laramie over here. You can get night edition on these trucks with the Sport Performance hood, but this is probably a 2019 to 20, it was probably a 2020 to 2022 truck, I would say. Because I think in 23, 24, they changed the mirrors, and then they added that Sport Performance hood. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but we'll come back over to this truck here in a second. But at the very front of the truck, you have a low and high mount steering stabilizer right there. You guys see that? That is, I can only imagine how this truck feels on the road. Now this truck also has the Carli Torsion sway bar here. Let me show it to you on the side. You can see it a little bit better right there. And so as I said, this truck is really done up. Now you guys see you have the King shops. This is probably the pin top from Carli, and I mean has the external reservoir. Love the way it looks. Upgraded coils right there. This also has the upgraded radius arm too. Now I don't know if this is the 3 1/4 inch, because again I don't know whose truck this is. I just saw it over here, but this is a really nice build. And then they blessed the truck with these 37s on the stock 17-inch wheels. I know some people prefer the aftermarket wheels, but when you go night edition, the only negative thing about the factory wheels is they're just 17s, but it gives you that bubble look, and I would prefer 18s. Like GM has the 18-inch wheels now for their dualies, and I wish that Ram would have gone to an 18 for 2025, but the 17s, I would take them and I would keep them on here. So again, these are 37s. Now this truck over here has aftermarket wheels, and there are some nice designs. I would probably go with like an Alcoa style wheel, maybe a 17 or 18. But these tires, what are these? These are 285 65 20, which is 34.6 inches tall and 11.2 inches wide. So it's a pretty meaty tire for sure. Now the nice thing about having aftermarket wheels is you can really change the offset. When you have the OEM wheels, you're stuck in with the width of that wheel and of course the offset. So now you have to use spacers, things like that. When you go aftermarket, you can go however wide you want, and well, not however wide, but you can go wider than the factory, which means you have better bead on the wheels and tire setup here, because those wheels over there on that truck are probably 6 wide versus probably a 9 or 10 wide wheel, which just works better with these meatier tires. So not quite a full 35 inch. You guys see here, they're running the Fox shocks with the external reservoir. And I'm not gonna pick on the shocks here, but let's go back and compare with that Carli real quickly. I don't need to say anything. I know you see what I see. Now, the only negative thing is I would have liked to seen a braided stainless steel line for that external reservoir, but that's not really needed. 9 times out of 10, or I could even say 10 times out of 10, the main reason why people do this type of suspension on a dually is not to go off-road, but to get the absolute best ride out of their truck. That's it. And of course to get that nice stance as well to run the bigger tires. So here, I don't see that those coils are upgraded, but I would have to venture to say that they are, because they definitely do look taller. This truck is definitely leveled out as well. So let's just assume it does have an upgraded coil there. And of course the shock. Now right here, you guys can see it does have an upgraded track bar to Torsion out of Oregon. And I'm sure the track bar on that Carli setup is going to be upgraded too. They are still running the stock radius arms too. And you don't really need to upgrade those unless you're really going to like a 3-inch or so lift out back. Let's see what they've done. They just added the Fox shocks. They're still running the factory suspension on this truck here. And let's see, because of the offset that you can run with these wheels, so you don't necessarily have to get spacers with this, you know. And even with that 11.2-inch wide tire, granted the offset's probably a little bit more aggressive, they are still poking out the back. Let's go ahead and check out that Carli real quickly. Now this truck does have the factory offset, and you guys see right there, that is going to be a 3-inch spacer. So I did a video recently on another build. It wasn't a Carli, I don't believe, but they were running 35s, and you're going to need at least a 3-inch, because if you go less than 3 inches, you're going to have to cut the studs. So it's just better just to go with the 3-inch and go 12.5 wide tire. And these aren't really poking that much either. I actually think that's perfect. But man, look at those big boy tires. This is how you dually, in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and see if they have an upgraded track bar. I don't have to look, I just know that they do. I just couldn't tell earlier. Ooh. That's why you never guess, huh? That looks all factory, huh? Yeah, it looks like the factory track bar. But all the suspension is upgraded. They have that upgraded sway bar on the front end too. And something else to consider as well is on this truck, no shocker you have upgraded shocks, but they did upgrade the leaf pack too. This truck does have factory air ride. So even with the factory air ride, you still can run this lift on your truck. They probably do give you a spacer for the air suspension, that way everything stays within spec. But yeah, that's all new. You guys can see those shocks too. They're Carli. I like the black stickering. I don't like the blue and red stickers that they have personally. It looks more cleaner, especially on a truck like this. This is like the perfect factory build, in my opinion. Oh yeah, you can see the shocks better back here, and you see that factory air. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that those have the blocks on them right there, just simply because of the extra ride height that this truck's gonna have. But overall, this is a beautiful build, and if I were to get another dually, it'll definitely be Ram, because I don't like Ford Platinum blackout. I don't think it looks that nice, and they don't do anything with the wheels. And one thing that's nice about Ram too is that inner wheel is not a Alcoa, but it is a black Steely, so I like that they at least give that to you. I mean, you can't see it, but it's just nice to have it blacked out personally. What do you guys think about this build? That looks so stinking good. Good job to whoever built this truck. I don't want to get their tag in the video, so I'm gonna try to avoid that. They also have this Nice bed cover through Diamondback. Really heavy duty stuff. But yeah, if I were to get another dually, it's definitely mega cab, because I like that short stubby dually look, and it would be a limited night edition because it just looks the best on the market. Hopefully GM will do something, because I do like their trucks too. And one last thing on this truck, I don't see any cutting on that front air dam. I don't really even see any cutting here. Now, I don't think that they run spacers. I think that these wheels and tires are fine without a spacer up front because of that level. But yeah, what do you guys think? Now this truck over here, this looks to be more of like a fuel economy upgrade here. Now granted, with that ranch hand, that ranch hand is gonna hurt your fuel economy, but yeah, with the tire setup, not a fan of these fuel wheels. I've seen these a lot. No disrespect to anyone out there. I'm not knocking on your truck, but just not a huge fan of these wheels for sure. And they are 17, so 235/80 17. Nitto AT Terra Grappler G2s. These were the popular tires back in the day, and I would say that they're wearing a little bit more on that outer. So on this truck here, you guys see they do have that block. So that's just level with the block. So I mean, literally I just showed you like a good, better, best in this video. I mean, that truck there, a lot of people like the aftermarket wheels and tires, and I get that, but I personally would just run with the OEMs. I mean, that looks so good. And then out back, I mean, I'm pretty sure they went with this tire size just simply because they didn't want their wheels and tires poking out. And of course, the wider you go on your tire, the taller you go, you're gonna lose fuel economy. But this is still a decent setup here if you're doing like hot shot, or if you just tow full time and you don't want to go too aggressive. I would understand why someone would run this too. These tires have 3,085 pounds of capacity at 80 psi, and then 2,635, is that what that says, at 80 psi? And in case you were wondering, this tire size is factory spec at 31.8 inches, 9.3 inches. So like I said, everyone has their own tastes and what they want to do, and I understand why someone would go this route. But yeah, these tires they're still big, right? I mean, this is not even a true 35, but they still look really beefy because of the aftermarket wheels, because you have that wider wheel. They probably almost look as wide as the ones on the other truck, which have the 11.5s versus the 11.2s here. And I just want to show you the capacity for this tire. So you guys see there, low range E, 3,860 pounds at 80 psi, 3,525 pounds, 80 psi for the duals out back. And these being a 10-ply tire, 37 by 12.5. You can do 13.5 too on these. I don't recommend you do that. I don't recommend anything in this video because these wheels are so narrow. Low range E. You guys see the capacity, 3,970 pounds. So this tire, even though it's a bigger tire, has more capacity, and you don't have to run it at 80 psi, you can run it at 65. The only negative thing with GM2 is, and maybe it's changed since I've owned mine, I could not run my tire pressure lower on that truck because of the computer system. They did the new ECM and then it was all locked up. But I hope you guys liked the video. This was just a quick rundown of a really beautiful truck build here. And as I said, these tires definitely look narrower because you have a narrower wheel, and it does affect that girth on the tire. So you can kind of see how it's kind of sucked in right there too on the side. But yeah, still looks good, and I would definitely run it this way as well. But yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully in the future, I have a friend that has this truck, Mr. G-Spot. I'm pretty sure you're gonna say something in this video. Come on now. I might need to have you come back here with your dually so we can do some tests with it, because the ride on them it's a game changer, guys. It's a huge improvement, especially for the Rams with that solid front axle, and just Rams having just a stiffer suspension overall. it is a big advantage to have the upgrade that you guys see on these trucks. See you guys soon.